numbers are in. The numbers are in. Microsoft won. Microsoft won E3. Keep playing games.
Murdered. He's gonna die. I don't want my boy to die yet.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Bgst, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks, Chris, for the intro. I love that. I know it goes on for about like 3.5 minutes because I listened to the whole thing and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, fact, you know, it's just some good old-fashioned hip-hop music to get everybody pumped.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Thank you guys for joining us. Don't worry, we're going to get the hell out of here before Game of Thrones. I know you nerds want to catch that shit.
Yes.
For me, I mean, I've never seen an episode, but I know Next Gen likes his dragons and whatnot. So
you know, I thought you watched it.
No, I've never seen an episode of that in my life.
Damn,
yeah, I know, but we usually start early on when Game of Thrones is on or when Walking Dead is on. Even though I don't really watch that show either. So one of them fucking interesting things. But anyway, yeah, we've got me, Next Gen. Welcome back, Chris Steele. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. And special guest today, Fonzarelli. Dia be here shortly. I don't know what the hell. Tim's in the diabetic coma, some goddamn where. Still,
I'm looking high and low, man. Me right now looking around. I'm like that John Travolta gift, looking for the BGST members. Where are they?
I think Kamega's going to like the Pope waving his goddamn hand somewhere.
You know what, man? I'm not really gonna dig on those guys because I love those guys, but damn. Man, in 3 years, I've missed 4 episodes of BGST.
I don't know what the hell.
Crap.
I don't know what the hell.
I mean, I wish I could just vacation from podcasting, man. Come on, let's, it's all good. I just, miss doing the show with those guys. So
yeah, for sure. But it is what it is, though. What we got up first? What's on the list?
I mean, we might as well start with the Crackdown hate. A lot of people hating on that shit right now. Ironically,
it looks like shit.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? And my boy Jez made a good point about this on Twitter. Ironically, the people that are bitching about Crackdown don't own Xbox One for the most part, or if they do, they had no intention of buying it in the first place.
Okay.
They seem to not grasp what cell shading is. Cell shading is a graphical style, and that's what this has been since the beginning. So the games are going to look kind of similar, even though I have to say Crackdown 3 looks far superior to anything we've seen on the first 2 games. And I played the first 2 games. I have them. I played them recently, like real recently. So when you look at that Crackdown 3 footage, even the campaign stuff, it looks night and day better than what we've had on Crackdown 1 and 2. So I don't know what the hell people are bitching about other than to try and hate on something Xbox again, which surprise, surprise,
I mean, do you think the hate is warranted? I maybe look at it like this, right? We have this powerful console that's coming out in November.
Yeah.
And maybe the people like,
I heard it was getting delayed.
Yeah, right. But maybe the people, I guess, were expecting more. You know what I mean? And I will say, listen, in all fairness, and to be fair, I wish Microsoft would make more. I should say, be the cartoon. Not saying that they're cartoony games.
That's what Crackdown is.
Brother, I'm with you. I understand. You know what I mean? But we have that, or we had a bunch of, I want more realistic.
Well, they did. I mean, Quantum Break is realistic.
And I love Quantum Break.
Yeah, I mean, but Crackdown is a returning franchise. It's not like they're just like, hey, let's.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, just overall, because I've been hearing that too. Like, what's with Microsoft with these tinky winky graphics and stuff? You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, they had Rise of the Tomb Raider exclusive for a year. That was realistic graphics. You know what I mean? To me, there's plenty of games on there that have realistic graphics. Crackdown is a cell shaded game. Like Jet Grind Radio. Cell shaded, like Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, cell shaded.
Those
games are great graphically.
Not to cut you off, but what's funny is like all these people that they're shitting on Crackdown 3 for being cell shaded are the same people that want another Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Jet Set Radio is exclusive to Sony. We'd be hearing, "Yay, they did it again!
Congratulations!" Yeah, I mean, for me, I like it. Like Crackdown 3 is going to be a big thing for me. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, the multiplayer really has me excited. But I love the 4-player co-op campaign stuff too. Like that is the shit to me. That stuff is fun. That's what I like best about like Gears 3. I was disappointed when they only had 2-player co-op in Gears 4. Gears 3 had the 4-player. I like the 4-player co-op in Halo. I love that shit.
What was that? Because it was so graphically demanding or something that
they were trying. Well, it could have been that, but again, also they were going for that more fear factor, going back to that throwback to that Gears 1 type of situation. You know, so remember Gears 1 was only 2-player co-op, and then they were kind of going back to that. But I tend to think that they had to go more with 2-player for the simple fact that they tried to keep up with the Ps. You know what I mean? Again, that's
But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Gears like dynamic, or was it native?
It was
native 1080p. No, it was
you
native.
sure?
Yeah, 100%.
I know
1080p 30. Yeah, 1080p 30 on the campaign, 1080p 60 on the multiplayer. But like, yeah, Halo 5, you're right, was dynamic to get that 60.
Yeah.
But it was 1080p for like the majority of it. Just at certain points, it was.
But let's be fair. When Halo was doing it dynamically, dynamic was a bad thing.
Yeah, it got a lot of shit for it. To me, I like the whole dynamic. I would rather have dynamic resolution on Xbox One games than checkerboarding or any of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Just like, to me, like that way it goes down when it needs to, and you can't fucking tell the difference anyway. The only people that tell the difference are the haters. But to me, I like the idea of that much more than like the checkerboarding stuff, because the games that I played checkerboarding, especially on the PS4 Pro, you can tell. Like, you play a game like Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4 Pro, and when you move, you get that really bad kind of blurriness.
Motion.
Like, you can really tell. Yes, it's that blur, and it's not just the motion blur, because I know the difference. That game just in motion doesn't look great. You know, everybody's like, "Oh my god, look at the pictures!" And you can take pretty pictures in it all day long. But the fucking game itself, when you're moving around, looks like a fucking blur. You know, it's awful. It's awful.
Wasn't that how like Drive Club was? It looked like shit, but when you took screenshots, it looked good.
Drive Club looked good, but it played like shit. So I mean, that's like, yeah. If you look at what Sony's whole forte thing was for the beginning of the generations, they had very pretty games: Order 1886, Drive Club, Killzone, Shadowfall. But these games played like absolute garbage. I mean, you can have the best looking game in the world, but if it plays like shit, it's a shit game.
Yeah.
You know, they focused on the wrong things. Now, hopefully, they seem to be correcting some of that shit. But yeah,
but even
early games.
Let's be fair. I mean, let's be clear. This, even if they don't correct it, they're still going to get treated like the industry darlings. You know what I mean?
Well, not from me. You know, like,
we the little man on the totem pole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, man, it grows every day, man. 30 plus thousand people can't be wrong. Just saying. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like at some point, fucking, you get a little small army behind you, and then people start to wake up. You know, they're not going to these sites anymore to get their news.
I mean, listen, Crap. That's something that, you know, just the start of this. And we'll get the newer guys to get your opinion on this. But this is, again, something you and us was saying, you know, at the start of this generation. You know, I noticed that things wasn't fair. And, you know, when you say that, people, you know, it's like we have this tinfoil hat on, you know what I mean? Or, no, we're just Xbox fans and don't know the media is being fair.
Corporate slaves, as they once said.
Well, corporate slaves or whatever, the Xbox, whatever you want to call us. You know what I mean? But I've always said this: when you're part of the media, right? And to me, you're not supposed to have a quote unquote a dog in the fight or a horse in the race. Whether you're an Xbox guy, you're a Wii U weirdo, you're into the Switch, the cross, whatever you're into, right? You should be able to go to that site there and get a non-biased opinion. Not what we do here on our platforms. You know what I mean? I guess we're not really claiming to be a part of the media. But when you had people like, again, from GameSpot saying that they preferred the PS4 over the Xbox One because they couldn't find the settings, and then you start to sit back and scratch your head. Or even, again, you know, with Digital Foundry, you know what I mean? When they were snatching down, I'm talking about, you know, trailers or commercials and would have their little bean counter and say, "Oh my God, it's, you know, it's only 720p." And when you don't see, when I said before, you haven't seen them running any really tech analysis on any of Sony's exclusives they showed there at E3. You know what I mean?
They did Spider-Man, but they still haven't done God of War.
God of War. But listen, I'll give you one better, bro. How long have we known about Spider-Man?
Since last year.
Okay, so this is what I mean by this, right? We known about this game since last year, right?
Yeah.
When as soon as Microsoft showed the trailer for Halo, boom, snatched it down. It was doing anything. As soon as they showed something from Gears of War, they snatched it down. It was doing anything. You know what I mean?
Because there's views in that. I don't know if there's going to be
Sony's. Like,
people don't care as much. You know.
That's what I'm. You know, I mean, shit. I care. You know?
Oh yeah, we care because I would love to get that fucking information so I could do a video about it myself.
What I'm saying is though, it's crap. And this, you know, again, we're saying because everyone, again, this generation cared about resolution in frames per second. So you don't care about Sony's resolution in their frames per second, only Microsoft's. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, they would damage control no matter what happened anyway. If you watch the Spider-Man stuff, they're like, hey, yeah, it looks great, and whatever the hell they call it, simulated 4K is what they call it. You know,
yeah, that's the new thing.
Simulated 4K.
Yeah, it's because when Xbox is putting out true 4K gaming, they still have to throw the buzzword around. It's like blast processing,
yeah,
but not because blast processing wasn't real.
Yeah,
4K is real.
Oh, blast processing was something. I forget what the hell it was, but it was like something stupid.
Marketing. That's what it was.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, so Sega Genesis does what Nintendo don't, bro. I mean, that's what. That's really what Microsoft needs to do. Something like that. Like again, look, we're getting. Okay, like I did a video earlier today. Wolfenstein 2. That's a 4K 60 FPS enhanced game coming out on the Xbox One X. So how the hell are we hearing about that from Crap Gamer or you know what I mean? Like Windows what the hell is that? Windows Central, right? Like why is not Microsoft announcing from the fucking rooftops, "Hey, play this fucking game 4K 60 FPS only on the Xbox One X," right? That's what they should be doing. They're doing a really bad job at marketing this thing right now.
Horrible job. And I don't understand it. Like
What's up,
the
D?
list. What's up, crap? The list of 4K games, actually, to be really honest with you, I'm even surprised. When I saw the list of games that are going to be like native 4K, I was like, holy shit, this system is no joke. And, you know, 6 teraflops, but when they optimize 6 teraflops, like in PC, you got 6 teraflops, yeah, you can do stuff with it, but it's not really the most optimized. They just like throw all this shit together and they say, okay, if they have this configuration, do this and that. But when they know everybody's going to have the same hardware with 6 teraflops, the extra RAM that they have, the DX12 chip that they have, it's amazing what they're able to do. And the media, they're all like meh about it. But the PS4 Pro, when it was doing checkerboarding up to 4K and it was looking decent, they were making a big deal out of that. But native 4K, these guys ain't saying nothing.
Hell yeah.
You know what though? I mean, again, and crap, you brought up a valid point before D said something. Why isn't Microsoft screaming this from the rooftops? You know what I mean? And listen, say what you want about BGST or without any of these Xbox fan podcasts or YouTube, whatever the case may be, right? But it wasn't us that came out there. I'm talking about it wasn't the PlayStation Council, it wasn't Weapon Wheel. You had Sony execs, you know, with 7-figure salaries come out and talking about 1080p makes you a better goddamn gamer. You know, and you know, Phil's a great guy. Phil should be out there talking about 4K will make you a better goddamn Christian. Seriously, you know what I mean? Like they should be really, you know, Jesus Nazareth the bad. This thing home.
Oh, there's Tim.
If they ever had good marketing this generation, I mean, honestly, Xbox One has had terrible marketing, and it's continuing with the X.
Know, I really like their marketing with Titanfall 1. The whole life is better with a Titan. I love that. I named my goddamn cat Titan because of that fucking commercial. Life is better with a Titan.
Yeah.
I mean,
they did something right.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm let you guys. I said that at the start of this generation, Microsoft had the commercial, the troops outside, they were stomping, doom. Then you see the Forza car hauling ass around the corner, and then you had the Titan bus, and then you had the zombies. That's the Microsoft. Here you go. Be the behemoth that you are. That was it. It was like they was one and done. Like that was it. You know what I mean? And you know, crap. I think a couple of shows ago you said that Sony hired the same marketing team that Microsoft had for the 360 generation. So I don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They did, but all's fair in that kind of love and war stuff. You know what I mean? Like if they're getting out hustled, they're getting out hustled. But still, you don't even got to market that. Just have your fucking people announcing it. Like, why is it a little asterisk that Star Wars Battlefront 2, the biggest game of the year, is going to be fucking a 4K enhanced game on Xbox One X as well? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, these are games.
Say something, or is it marketing? Or
I have no idea. But if you look on the Xbox site, they say 4K Ultra HD enhanced on there.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, both of those games. Those are huge games.
I
I have heard that they are going with 4K makes you a better Christian. So
yes, that is.
They're going for it, man.
Yeah. Like you're in the know. You're rubbing elbows with these guys. But what is it? Why the hell are they just so damn meek? Like I don't understand.
Honestly, I feel like the generation they started, they were kind of browbeaten in the beginning, to the point where they were like anything they said or anything was a problem, and they just kept doing things and it kept snowballing. So I think there's a little bit of trepidation there to not fuck up, and sometimes I think that lingers. Like sometimes you just have to not be afraid. Now I don't think they should go too crazy and go over the top. But I mean, I don't think that they're ever gonna do what maybe you guys want or what we want. I feel like they have the overall umbrella of Microsoft over them, so that's another layer of you can't fuck up. So they just play it close to the vest. They play it, they play it safe. And
let me reword what I'm saying. Shit, the arrow just kicked in. God, listen. Let me give it to you in a different way, right? In a different light, right? Look at Microsoft last generation, right? And you look at Aaron, especially Aaron's like an asshole. You look at Albert Pinello. Even look at my man, the guy that you love to hate, Sleazy D, Donnie Goddamn D, right?
That's a different gen, though.
I get it, but it's the same company, right? Same. We listen. We're not going from selling apple pies to selling cars. It's the same business, right? Now you can say what you want. I know Phil said that, and shout out to him too. That the console war and just. I mean, I get it. We all be taking it to have fun. I mean, I'm not out there in the streets or anything like that. It's not that serious, but by word of mouth. Now you can say what you want about the Xbox community, okay? But it's raid grass with boots on the ground, and it started with the guys like us, because Xbox fans didn't have anyone to tune in. So I'm quite sure you guys hear it. I've heard it 1,000 times. You know what I mean? But again, it seems like Microsoft is just a former shell of themselves, and I don't understand it. I was looking at an interview when Bill Gates was giving. It was either TED or City, one of those damn things. He's up there talking, got his legs crossed. And it was around I think maybe 2014. Someone sent me the clip. I got to find it. And basically, it was, what he was talking about, the power of the PlayStation 4, right? How do you feel about, the PS4 being more powerful than the Xbox One? Now, I'm paraphrasing here. Bill basically said, like, we don't have to play second fiddle to anyone. You know what I mean? That's never going to happen again. We can blink red and goddamn blink check. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, be the behemoth that you are. You know what I mean? I want them to really. You have a product right now. It seems like, again, and I said this a while ago, I have more faith in the product and the brand than sometimes they just threw their hand in and conceded. Now, you can't be riding high from E3. Fans are going crazy. You know what I mean? They seem like they taking their foot off the gas. You got to pound this shit home. That games are going to run better. I don't care if you got to say the same shit every goddamn day. You know what I mean? Because I guess people have short memories. You know what I mean? And again, we know what happened this generation. You know what I mean? We couldn't enjoy our betas. Everything was 720p, 900p. You understand what I'm saying? Remember this hashtag no parity? It was just so much shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that Microsoft doesn't have to be professional or anything like that, but you have to start drilling, because you don't have the exclusives right now, so they say, on your side, all right? But what you do have are the multi-plats. And we cannot ignore, like, what's been the primary reason that the PS4 sold so well this generation. It wasn't about the exclusives, because they're just getting exclusives now. They were having the better versions of the multi-plats. And I think they really, really need to nail that home. You know what I mean? Like they have to,
What I think they also need to really push is the fact that the Xbox One X is going to be using 4K textures.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't okay. The PlayStation 4 Pro can put out games at 4K, but unless you got the 4K textures, you just basically have an up-res 1080p signal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing that I was talking about when you talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, and everybody's like nutting themselves over that game. Like, look how gorgeous that game looks, and it looks as a good looking game. But at the end of the day, There are a lot of like muddy textures in that game, and things aren't as clear when you get good up close to it. So for me, it's a big deal when you look at a game like Forza Motorsport 7, and the textures on that look absolutely amazing. Or like Tim, you say you saw Gears 4 running in 4K on the Xbox One X, and that looked phenomenal. So that's what I'm looking forward to. You know, I want to see that. That's the big difference to me, man. I couldn't care less about the fucking actual resolution. Even give me those shit super sampled with those assets would be fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
I think the problem is with Microsoft, I don't think they've judged the climate out here correctly. I think, yes, it's going to be powerful, and they know that the games are going to look better because, you know, they've seen it, and they're like, okay, you know what, once gamers see this, you know, they're just going to be sold on it. And, you know, the Xbox brand has been smeared. They really need to be aggressively going after the PlayStation 4 Pro guys that want that console. Let them know, hey, this console is native 4K with 4K textures. In fact, you're going to get the bargain PC experience or something, some shit like that. Because to be honest with you, if you try to do what they're doing on PC for that price, nothing comes close.
Yeah, we've already kind of seen that, man. Like, I guess if you want to fucking tape your PC, go dumpster diving and fucking tape your PC parts together, then sure. But other than that, man, it's not even fucking close for everything that you're getting in the box. Fuck, the Xbox One X is going to let you record game clips in HDR. That shit is unreal. You're going to be able to cap stuff in 4K, 60 FPS. You're going to be able to stream in that. That stuff that's expensive.
How much is a 4K
premium.
capture card right now? Is there even one?
Well, I think that they were like $200 or $300. And then for the ability to capture HDR footage, is something like, I think somebody pointed out, it was like $1,000.
Yeah. Anybody to think that Xbox One X is overpriced at $500 is stupid.
Well, you know,
it's dumb to say. It's dumb. I'll say it. If you think it's overpriced, you're stupid. You don't realize the fucking value that you're getting for your dollar. Whether you have a 4K TV or a 1080p TV, you're still getting the better versions of all the games. You're still able to record in 4K and HDR. You have a 4K Blu-ray player. What other system besides Xbox One S has that? None. Stop lying to yourself and letting your fanboy goggles fucking blind you. Stop with this shit, people.
And let's not forget, it also does Dolby Atmos, and that's huge. That's huge.
You know, I wish people would just fucking enjoy the shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're so obsessed with the shit that they just won't let people enjoy it. And that's the thing that kind of bugs me as far as that. Like, look, it's a slow news week. So what did we hear? Crackdown 3 looks like shit. Like, literally 4 articles on that on M4G, right?
Wait, no, pre-orders down. That was the best one.
There's Xbox One X delayed. You know what I mean? It was so like that shit's so ridiculous. You know, really.
Well, I just think that just as gamers in general, just we just want news every fucking day. We just want like whatever from either side. And when we don't, there's just this thing, and I've been guilty of it myself sometimes too. It's like we just pushing for something, and sometimes, you know, just shit comes out. And this week was pretty funny because, you know, with the pre-order stuff and then the Crackdown 3, how that just blew up. You know, like we're just like insatiable about how we are, and we just can't chill out and just be like, "Hey, man, it's just a slow news week in the middle of the summer." And you know, next week's probably going to be the same thing. I mean, you have Fortnite coming out, but it's just funny how the things just morph and how crazy things get just out of the middle of nowhere. It's just because people just want to talk games.
Let me ask you a question. You're asking Fonz, you can hop in, or Chris or D, or whoever. When's Gamescom? Gamescom is when?
August 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, 21st or 22nd.
Yeah. So we're about at least about a month in a week or so away, or whatever the case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have Microsoft's E3. They came out. They gave us the sizzle reel of about 40 games, and they said
42
games, with 22 were console exclusives, or but you know that
console exclusivity,
whatever the case may be, right? Now, I know, you know, normally at Gamescom, we get either 1 or 2 big announcements for exclusives. You know what I mean? We had the Scalebound and we had the Titanfall. You know, we get the new, or Fable, sorry, we had the Fable. Then they usually give us a big, you know, announcement or something. What are you guys expecting from Microsoft at, first, are expecting from Microsoft at Gamescom, and is Sony attending this year?
We don't know if Sony's attending, but I'm not
they're talking about having a show. You know, having a presentation. You know, are they having a show?
I don't know if Sony would be, because they usually do that Paris Games Week stuff. You know,
And
so
they also got the PlayStation experience and what the
yeah. I mean, if you look at, I mean, if they had that much shit to show, I think they would have showed a little bit longer than. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, what else would they show? Honestly,
I don't know.
Knack 2, bro. Come on.
Well,
Yeah,
they already showed.
we can see Forza Horizon. I mean, not Forza. Gran Turismo. Dog shit. We can see that on the big.
They're not going to show that because then people are going to compare it to the Forza Motorsport stuff. They're like, that's the most download game ever. You'd think that it was like cheating on its bitch or something. They're like ashamed of that game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's just a fucking.
I'm really curious to see how Digital Foundry can spin Gran Turismo to be better looking than Forza Horizon 2, even.
They did that.
No, I'm saying I'm curious to see what they do, how they spin it, because this is what they do. They spin to where they make it sound like PlayStation isn't as bad as Xbox. That's what they do. They always spin it to where, yeah, it's not true 4K, but it's close enough. That's how they're wording things now.
Yeah, well, if you look at what they did when they did the analysis on the Gran Turismo Sport beta, they did that. You know, that game's not a lock 60 frames per second, and it's like 1800p or whatever. And so, they were damaging it. It's not really bad enough to notice it, but they fucking. But remember when Mario Kart
Xbox drops 2 frames and they do something big about it.
Even Nintendo, that when Mario Kart dropped to 59 frames per second, they made a big deal out of it. Remember? Yet Sony's PS4, the big Gran Turismo game, can come out and drop multiple frames, and it's not a big deal because it doesn't affect the gameplay. You know, like that's the bullshit that I talk about. That's the bullshit that I care about. You know, that's the stuff that bugs the shit out of me. You know, again, Digital Foundry does a good job from a technical standpoint when they're like, okay, this is what's going on with this game. This is what's going on with this game. Then they interject their assery with, hey, okay, well, both games are this and this. Yeah, sure, the Xbox One might be native 4K, but the PS4 Pro with that 4K looks almost just as good if you're 10 feet back. And you know what I mean? Like, that's the shit that they really should just cut the fuck out. You know, just go. All the technical aspects point to this version being better. That's the fucking end of the story. Stop interjecting your opinion because nobody cares.
But even, like I'm saying, for them to be the top of the line when it comes to these digital analysis, they're not even telling the full story, because even though the Xbox One X, again, may be running at a higher resolution, it's also running the 4K access to better textures, and that's what they're failing to leave out. You know what I mean? It's just,
well,
again,
I think you have to wait until really the Digital Foundry hits. But as far as your question goes, like when all the DF face-offs really come down, then if they really pull shit like that, I think that it's fair to go after them.
Will we see as many? Will we see them? Tim, I don't think we're gonna.
I think you're gonna see. Why wouldn't they? They're gonna want to draw hits. And listen, if Xbox beats them, which it should based on the specs, they're going to want to put that, because either way they're going to get hits. You know what I mean? So I think that you're going to see the full coverage.
They'll still spin it to where it doesn't sound like PlayStation's as bad.
I guess. Well, I'm going to say I'm going to have to wait and see. But for the question at hand, and I think Zaire was asking Fonzarelli, and I want to hear from the panel what you guys think. Do you think that they're going to have a show? Do you think Sony's going to have a show? And if not, what are they going to have? Is it going to be a real light Gamescom, or do you think that we're actually going to get some real stuff?
Greeny said that they're not doing a presser, but they're going to do some live streaming and shit like that. So
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
What happened? It's not going to be a press. They're not going to have a show.
No, they're not doing a presser.
For Gamescom?
No, they're not doing a presser.
Do they ever do a presser though? They don't think they do.
They did a couple years ago, but not last year.
Last year was their first time in a while. They haven't done one.
Yeah, I mean, look, they did 42 games at E3, and if they wanted to show all the same shit, I guess they could do a presser. But I don't.
They're going to show some stuff. They'll have an announcement.
They'll probably show stuff at the Tokyo Game Show, though, most likely.
Tokyo.
Yeah. The reason being is because I think they got some deals going for some of those Japanese games and things like that. So.
Wait, I gotta.
The last thing I heard, Sony said that they might do something. They said it would be nice to do something in Europe this year. That's all they said. So they just kind of depressor, but nothing confirmed.
You would think if they were doing something for Gamescom, they would already say something. It's.
They might have one thing.
Wait.
Have one thing.
Oh, am I missing something here? I mean, so you said Microsoft said they're not going to have a presser?
No.
They're gonna do like an Xbox Live thing where they have
they're
a show.
they're doing streams. Graham Boyd is hosting some kind of thing or something. You know, AC Bongos or whatever.
Okay, listen, that stream, that thing they're gonna do on Xbox Live is for their fans. Okay, now you gotta again, like I say, the same thing with Nintendo with that treehouse shit that they do, those directs. That's for their core. You have to appeal outside of that market and to attract new fans.
I
With new hardware.
agree.
What are they doing? Like this is we've been waiting for this goddamn moment for what 3-4 years? You know what I mean? Like this is huge.
Do you guys remember when the Xbox One leading up to launch? They were doing that tour where they were going around with vans and SUVs.
Yes.
I suspect that they'll probably do something similar with the X.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Probably maybe not as big. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they're willing to spend money on any sort of like real marketing right now.
Well, like
If they don't want to spend a lot of money, it's really simple. Just put some kiosks at Best Buy, at EB Games or GameStop in the States, and gamers will see it for themselves and they'll be able to make a decision.
Are they willing to pull out those old school launch Xbox One kiosks that have Forza Horizon 2 on there? I mean, that's the real question. Because whenever you go into one of these places, that's what you see, that half of an Xbox One console in those kiosks. It's ridiculous. I mean, like
When are they going to actually show comparisons?
I say Gamescom.
It's not doing it.
that's a good question.
Here's the problem: if they do it at Gamescom and they're only showing their fans basically on a live stream, I mean, that's not a really.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that the IGNs, Kotakus, those dickheads of the world will pick it up and run with it. So, and I'm sure Digital Foundry will be all over their stuff.
Here's the thing, and I have asked this internally about it because, you know, you guys heard me 1,000 times go crazy about the Gears enhanced version compared to, you know, what we've played on Xbox One S. And I think that it comes down to where Coalition probably doesn't want their game shown on the internet that way, because the only way to really get the true experience is if you're watching it within the room. Now, they did the mixer, and I heard it was good. When they did the 4K mixer with HDR, I never saw it, but I think they're a little worried that if they do show a comparison, and then you get it ripped off the internet, and now you're showing it on YouTube at 1080p, and you know it doesn't look that different, and there's a lot of problems there. So I think that it's kind of, you know, like you guys said, the kiosk is probably the best thing, but I don't see them doing that, because the only way you're really going to get it is if you get it in a room like I was, and you're in a theater and you see it for yourself up close firsthand on a working television with the freaking X right there, the SDK, and you're really seeing it. But when you throw that shit and you try to like pass it off on the internet, it's very dangerous. And I think that's why they're not doing it with certain games, especially with like Gears would be the perfect, but like probably Coalition's like, you know, I'm not taking this shit because it's just going to be ripped off and be shown compressed.
Well, why can't they do what they did with Forza, how they had the two comparisons with Digital Foundry? They could kind of do that. I mean, that was a pretty good representation of what the Xbox One X can do. That's my opinion.
Maybe they will, but like I said, I think it's just, in my opinion, it's the best way to do it. It was like, you know, Dee was saying, is to do the kiosk thing. I just don't see them, you know, really setting up the kiosks. It'd be a fucking disaster too, probably doing it, but I don't see them doing it. But that is the best way, and I hope that they do something like that, because a lot of people say, and I don't think they're wrong when they say, well, really show me a way why I'm buying this. And you know, it's hard to get that feel when you're not, you know, when you're watching it on the internet. It's just not the same.
Now, Tim, I want to ask you a question. Now, you've actually seen the Xbox One X in action. Now, what was your impression of it compared to like the Xbox One S or something, or even PC stuff?
Well, yeah. Well, what I took from it. Now, I've said this several times. The Gears demo was the most eye-blowing. Like it blew my mind, you know, because I saw all the stuff. You know, they were talking the technical jargon, but I saw the stuff firsthand. I saw the draw distance. I saw, you know, the God rays. I saw the smoke effects, the lighting, the way the shadows are. I saw that. And I saw that with my eyes. Now I don't know what it's called and what they're doing. There's obviously technical things that they're doing, and there's all types of names of what they're doing. But what they did, really, I'm pretty sure you're only going to get on a high end PC, because it honestly looked that much of a step up better than what I played on Xbox One S, because I remember I played that certain level, and it was a marked difference, and I noticed it. Like it wasn't something like that they were. I just saw it right away, and I saw the difference. I saw like the explosions in the draw distance and how detailed they were, because everything's so bright and colored, and they did the HDR, and they did the wide color gamut, and they really tweaked everything where it really pops. Like, I don't remember when I played that. I remember being impressed, but I was like freaking jaw hit the ground. And that's the stuff that they have to really knock down or get past. And I just don't, like I said, I don't know how they're going to do it when, a lot of the times, like if you saw that same video on the internet, on YouTube, you wouldn't be that impressed. But like being there, like, I saw everything the way it was supposed to be seen, and it does itself a good thing. Like it makes you really see the difference, and that by far was what sold me on X.
There's way too many variables with what people are watching, what device they're using at their house. Do they have a 4K TV? Are they using their cell phones, for crying out loud?
Right.
So I mean, there's going to be too many variables there for Microsoft to get through, to actually show the people what this thing can do. A lot of people have TVs right now. They may even have a 4K that don't even have HDR. So,
right.
A lot of things you can't see unless it's right there in front of you. So
now let me ask the panel. Let's say if you had your game, let's say this is your game and it's what you put your heart and soul into. Would you guys be fearful of what he just explained? Like, he's totally right. The one person that actually has the setup is the one person. Everyone else is fucking watching it off a feed, watching it off whatever, a 720p monitor, whatever the case is. But would you guys have trepidation about having your game thrown out there like that?
Well, I would want it set up where the gamers could come to my site and download a link of the uncompressed footage and play it like on their 4K device, because like I upload 4K footage and like I do my best to keep the bit rate high. I put it pretty high and it does come up pretty clean, but in all honesty, you still lose a lot of detail. Even though it looks clear on the 4K, like if you're watching it natively, it's just more crisp. It's just a lot more detailed. So if there was a way where you could download the actual file itself and view it, that'd be a good tool. But I don't know.
That's funny that you bring that up, because I'm an early adopter for 4K and HDR. And I remember early on, the only way we can actually get little trailers and stuff was to download it off the internet. There was actual trailers of movies with HDR, 4K, and we would download it in the community and put them on our displays. That was the only way to get a true representation of what we were going to get with these Blu-rays. So
yeah, I remember that. Not to toot my own horn, but somebody leaked me some HDR footage, and I actually put the first like HDR clips out online over on AVS, and like people were clamoring for it because we just could not get the footage.
Yeah, that's where I was at, AVS. So
I don't know. I'm still just shaking my head. Not doing a goddamn presser. Like, this is, oh man.
Well, they're probably going to show Crackdown. Well, that's what I heard. They're going to show Crackdown 3. They're going to show the cloud compute.
I got to be honest, though. I mean, even cell shade aside, that game doesn't really look impressive. I mean,
a lot of people say that.
It looks like Crackdown. How is that not impressive?
Because Crackdown doesn't look impressive. It never has to me. So
okay, well, I mean, but if you're a Crackdown fan, then you're going to love it, though. If you're not, then I don't think they're going to do anything to change your mind.
Exactly, but I know some people that actually played it at E3, and they were telling me.
Well, they played a campaign, but again, the multiplayer is complete difference. I don't see how a fully destructible multiplayer that's never been done before isn't impressive.
Yeah, and that remains to be seen.
We've seen it.
No, but he's right. I don't know what the fuck. Like that's the one question I have. Like, you got to show it sooner or later.
I'm scratching.
The whole thing is, though, if you ask, like, because I'm in the Crackdown Discord, if you ask, they're like. And they've been honest about it. They've shown the destruction before. If they would have shown that again, people would have worried about the campaign. So they showed campaign. And now since people are bitching about not showing the destruction, they're going to show it again at Gamescom. So everybody will have what they want.
I think what people... Well, I think what people really have a problem with Crackdown 3 is that Microsoft and us fans, we put it on a pedestal as being a good game, but they didn't put it on a pedestal at E3. It was just kind of in a reel to where you were kind of like, that's it. Like I think that's what people are upset about, and I think that's why there's all this hate towards it, because there's not been like this really good sit down playthrough of this and playthrough of that to where people can look at it and go, wow. All right, I'm a believer now, and I think that's why people are maybe worried.
I've been waiting for Crackdown for a long time, and I'll be honest. After E3, I got a little deflated for the game, and it was really solely based on them not showing the destruction. Like for so long, they've been touting the power of the cloud. I've been telling my buddies, I've been the forum warrior, saying the cloud's gonna be all the power that you need, and yada yada, and they still have not shown its full capability. So for me, it was a little bit of a letdown, and I really think it was a missed opportunity. They should have showed, even if it was 20 seconds of the cloud in action. I having this right now.
Microsoft's been dropping the ball since E3 with that, especially because they showed 15 minutes of Sea of Thieves, which comes out after Crackdown, which made no sense. Why didn't they show Crackdown before Sea of Thieves?
That's a good point.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, right? Crackdown, we've known about that for 4 years. It's been in development. There's a such thing as fatigue when it comes to that. That's why you see games on Sony's stage that were announced years ago, like say Shenmue 3, and then they don't talk about it again. That's why, because people get fatigued from seeing these games over and over again. So they have to be careful. So what they did show was what we hadn't seen before, which was campaign, and people didn't even realize that was campaign. When they were playing that on stage, that was actual campaign footage. I thought it looked fucking phenomenal.
Listen, I do think it looks like Crackdown. I do think it's a cel-shaded game. It's supposed to look like that. I did think it looked pretty good. But I can see why people, obviously me and Jeremy go back and forth about this. So he's always hitting me I wake up. Crackdown's such a piece of shit. That's what I wake up to, a DM, every day, pretty much from him. But we go back and forth. Now, I can honestly say that I have some information on this game that not many people have, where I know somebody who saw the demo that is not a Microsoft employee that basically saw the demo, and he said that of the cloud compute, and he said that he came away absolutely extremely impressed with the physics of the explosions and the way everything blows up. So I do think that they did show it off, and it was not a good showing. I don't know what that was like my what the fuck moment at E3. I was like, what just happened there? Like, that didn't look so unbelievable. There was no destruction. But I do hear that this game is like a Grand Theft Auto sandbox type game where you have fully destructible environment, and it is actually very impressive. Now, when they show that, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is or what the holdup is.
Do you think maybe Microsoft doesn't have as much faith in Crackdown, but they can't cancel it because they've already spent so much money in the backlash from Scalebound, so they're maybe pushing forward with it?
No, I think it's technical related. I think that what they set out to do, they probably at the time they thought it was going to take a little shorter than it is, and I think it's taking longer than expected. And something of this, we just talked about how people can't fucking download a 4K thing, and it's all, and nobody knows what the fuck. This is now, you're going into a game that's never been done before, so they have to get it right. And if that means that they have to delay it and delay it and delay it, they have to get it right where it works to a point where it's not a disaster. And I think that that's what the problem. I think from a technical perspective that they're a little behind with the cloud computing.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Chris brought up a good point, though. Chris did bring up a good point, because a lot of us out there feel the same kind of way. I mean, he said it. Obviously, he must have popped into his mind. But if you think about it, the way Microsoft is acting surrounding Crackdown 3, it seems like they've almost lost faith. So I don't know. That's the way I view it, and a lot of other people are viewing it too. It's like, you should have this game front and center. This is your launch title with X. Show us everything you got with this game. Show us the multiplayer. mean, hiding that is ridiculous. If that is the bread and butter to this game, the destructible environments, that is what you should be showing. You should be touting.
Just so everybody knows as well, they've got big Crackdown plans that they're teasing for San Diego Comic-Con next week as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a beta. Yeah,
What?
I wouldn't. What?
No, usually they're gonna have they have a big showing for.
They're having an announcement at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have a huge announcement for that.
You know what?
They said they have a big announcement. Larry Herb, the whole team is going to be there.
Well, you've always said that.
The last time they had something big to announce.
They have. They said that they're going to be there. I wouldn't doubt if they have.
Crackdown PC.
Yeah,
well, Crackdown's
it could be that, but what it's
with Comic-Con because it is a comic book style looking game. So I mean, they could have something.
What if it's a beta? What if it's a multiplayer beta? Like people are just like sleeping on that, right? Like I don't think that this is an ambitious title. Like for me, I don't think that they've not. I don't think that they're avoiding anything. I think they're doing a fucking. They're just not. You can't please anybody. Microsoft for some reason can't please anybody. Like you don't hear anybody going, "Hey, how come Sony didn't show Gran Turismo on stage?" Besides for us, because they don't have faith in it, right? How come they didn't show Knack 2 on stage? Wait, because they don't have faith in it, right? Those are the two games coming out this year, but they focused on the games that are coming out years from now, right? Can't we ask them the same goddamn questions or no?
Microsoft gets no credit whatsoever.
I mean, I get all that.
I'll give you an example. Right now, they're doing something with the extra frequencies that we have from televisions, and they want to use that so that people that have low bandwidth can actually get internet. People don't give the Microsoft the credit for the innovation on that. 9 gigabytes of RAM for gaming on consoles, much less on PC. PC doesn't use that much, and console is doing this. So they're going to push gaming forward.
I get, all right, listen, brother. Listen, right now, brother, I'm with you 155%, right? But we are what you call the hardcore. You know what I mean? I can give a fuck about people. It may sound mean having clean drinking water in goddamn South Africa. Fucking gaming is a very, very goddamn selfish hobby. Okay, let's be clear. Okay, selfish. Me. I. Excuse me, Doug. Me. Right. And again, this is Microsoft flagship title for this holiday season. Okay, let's be clear. It is. I mean, there's no damage control here. This is the Lord's work, and they are handling this game. Now, listen, I'm not really and again, Crackdown, just to be honest, has never been this big, huge IP for Microsoft. You know what I mean? I think it's maybe dope that they went back maybe and revisited it. You know what I mean? Cool. Maybe it can appeal outside of the the hardcore guys, the few guys, because the second one sold like shit. You know, and it may give it another chance.
Hey,
have this big stage again like E3, and they just showed the commercial. I love Jerry Crews. I think it was dope. That was nice. You know what I mean? So, you know, and we all say, hey, they're going to wait the Gamescom and they're going to show off the multiplayer, and now they're not even having a presser. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
They are doing multiple. They're doing a show, just not a presser.
They're doing a show. They're just not.
They're doing 2 live streams, and Aaron Greenberg's going to be there.
Also, they are having a show. I mean, we're going to see.
They're not doing a presser, but they're.
It's not going to be like E3.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a big show like that, but they are doing a show. They're having games that they're going to show off. They're going to have stuff to talk about. The team's going to.
Are we going to see this? Are we going to see this show on what they're doing on TV or this?
They're going to show it on. They're going to stream it on Mixer and all that shit. Yeah. But the thing I want to point out to the people in the chat is because people are like, Microsoft doesn't have faith in Crackdown. I'm like, dude, they showed Crackdown on their fucking E3 stage. Yet Sony chose not to show their 2 games coming the rest of this year on their E3 stage.
There's no reason. But there's no reason to point at Sony in this situation. I mean, we're talking.
How is there not?
We're talking about.
Oh God!
But this is what I'm talking. I know what I'm talking about, though. How is it okay for one, but not the other?
What does that do for Microsoft when it really is just
botting, Tim?
I said, what does that do for Microsoft when that really doesn't have anything to do with?
I'm just pointing out the fact that we're Xbox dudes attacking Xbox over this.
We're not attacking it.
Well, it is. I mean, we're not helping the fucking situation. We're like, isn't there enough people doing that shit?
No crap. Listen.
To stroke their egos when they're doing wrong, though. I mean,
how are they doing wrong?
Listen, you just told us that they're about to go to Comic-Con, something big with Crackdown. Why Comic-Con? This is a video game. I mean, come on.
Because they go to Comic-Con every year.
Oh, but that's not where you show your launch title for the holiday season. You show it.
They showed it at E3.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it sucked in E3. Let's be honest. Crap, it wasn't a great showing.
I'll agree with Tim. That was
showed
definitely
it.
my what the fuck moment
They
when
still
they
showed it.
didn't.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying I can understand if people are like whatever, but
We want to see the cloud. We want to see shit blow up, dude.
I understand that. But we fucking already saw it.
When?
Yeah, but it was shown 2015.
Well, we saw it 2015, and we've also seen it before. I'm glad they showed off some of the single player stuff.
I only complain because they didn't make a bigger deal about Crackdown 3 at E3 like we thought they were going to. That's my bitch about it. I still have faith in the game that the game's going to deliver, but it makes me feel like as a fan, like I'm a huge Xbox fan, but it makes me feel like when Microsoft kind of buries it in E3, because realistically, that's what they did. They buried it.
Okay.
They should have had it be more out in the front. Granted, yes, they showed a lot of it before at other E3s and Gamescoms and whatnot, but I mean, they really should have hit home Crackdown a little bit more. Now, maybe things weren't ready, possibly. Then why not? Then
game comes out in November. Listen, here's the thing, crap, and you know you're my favorite white boy, but listen, it's not about Xbox fans attacking Microsoft, because when we complain about something, it's coming from a valid point, you know, from a true point, you know what I mean, that we mean good, not someone that's complaining about shit that's not going to buy the goddamn console anyway. So when I have a problem with something, so you know it's coming from a good place as an Xbox fan, you know, and you know I hold Xbox fans, maybe I'm a little delusional, to higher standards than which the Sony fans hold them. You know, because had I been a PlayStation guy or whatever, and Sony didn't come out there and show their biggest billion-dollar franchise of Gran Turismo, of course, I'm going to be out there installed. You know, I'm a PlayStation guy. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't see those motherfuckers talking about that shit though.
But
and look at this. Microsoft, like they did, like this dude in the chat says, showed 42 games at E3. How much time do you dedicate to Crackdown? I thought the fucking Terry Crews thing was fire. I love that.
It was nice. No, I
thought that was fucking phenomenal. Now hold on. So not only did it. Okay, well,
they should have showed the game more than Terry Crews. That's my opinion.
But hold on. Let me just say this real quick. I like the Terry Crews thing, right? I thought that was badass. They're also going to show off some stuff or talk about it at Comic-Con. They're also going to show stuff at Gamescom about this game. How much more can they do? I mean, Tim, your mic is breaking up.
Listen like this, crap. For this game to come out in November, right? This is what we're saying. This is basically, I think, what everyone's saying. Maybe
yes.
The game comes out in November, right? We know more about goddamn Sea of Thieves and how that looks and runs and stuff than we know about goddamn Crackdown.
They talked all about Crackdown. They showed it multiple times. All the shows afterwards were nothing but Crackdown. They just uploaded new footage of Crackdown to a few days ago.
Hey,
they're talking about it nonstop.
You know what they're gonna do? Remember with the original Crackdown, they put Halo 3 beta in it. They're gonna put Sea of Thieves beta in Crackdown.
Probably so. You know
why? Sea of Thieves already has a beta.
Yeah, but it's not open.
It's not a public beta.
Well, I mean, it probably will be eventually.
Listen,
with Crackdown.
You're still breaking with a bit.
Jesus, fuck.
You gotta refresh the thing there, Tim.
I got to be honest. See, I'm a gamer. I don't hold allegiance to Sony nor Microsoft. I look at it from a games perspective. That's how I've always looked at this generation, every generation. Now I've been playing more on the Sony side this gen because they just happen to have more games that I wanted to play, and that's where most of my friends have been. So, but I like games. I don't care who it's coming from. Give me the good games, and it just seems that like this gen, including Crackdown here. It seems like Microsoft isn't marketing their games right, isn't marketing their consoles right. It's just a real big problem with Microsoft right now. That's the biggest issue I see, and Crackdown is no different. It's not being marketed right. It should have been pushed E3. That's the bottom line, and it wasn't. It had the half-assed campaign shown, and nobody was really interested in that. When they went to E3,
I was interested.
Well, they went to E3 and played it, and they came away with it like feeling underwhelmed. And that's
I asked multiple.
Some liked it a lot.
I asked multiple people that were at E3, and they were like, "It was fire." I mean, there's some that didn't like it, but I mean, again, it's not for everybody.
Jez liked it. DOA liked it. Some people like Jeremy.
Jez had good point. Jez had no interest in that game prior to playing the game at E3. Said it was Street Fire.
I have faith in the game from the cloud part, but they do have to show it, and they're not. You know, they have to show it on the right stage, and Gamescom is probably the next best place to do that. But you know, I mean, I'm not being critical of. I am being critical of the way it was shown, but I do have faith in the game. I'm not going to say because I saw it and I'm like, okay. I saw it up close and I didn't play it, but I was right up there and it looked good. I'm like, this looks good. This is exactly what Crackdown is, and this is the single player portion. I have that understood in my mind.
Tim, can I ask you something though? You have faith in this game because you are an Xbox fan and you like Crackdown, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, also I've heard some things about the cloud things that I know that are legit.
But the thing is from just a gamer's perspective, I look at this and I say Microsoft doesn't have faith in this game, just because of the way they're not marketing it the way I think they should.
Well, do you think that you could make that? Could you change that statement if they show it the right way on Gamescom? I mean, that's at the point we're at.
If they showed the multiplayer at Gamescom and it looks like a badass game, they're showing all the destruction and everything, and it's got people hyped, then of course, then the narrative would be changed there for a lot of people who have it in their heads that, you know, Microsoft's not doing enough. But that's just been a problem this generation. And just to touch real quick, so Crap knows, Sony's conference I thought sucked too this year at E3 because, well, they showed the same shit as last year. So I'm not
too. Are you saying Microsoft's conference sucked?
I didn't care for both. I didn't care for both, and that's just because the games didn't appeal to me for the most part. There were some games that appealed to me, but it you know, it wasn't my thing. But I'm just letting you know that I'm not a Sony dick rider. Okay.
Hey man, you're more than welcome to like whatever you want. I'm just saying, like when you,
I'm a video game dick rider.
That's fine.
I ride with the games wherever they're at.
I mean, I have every single platform too. It's just, you know, again, I feel the opposite as you, where Sony hasn't really done much for me this generation.
Yeah, and that's fine. I just think the marketing. If you look on Sony's side, they've had a lot of great marketing this gen. Microsoft.
Well, they've had a lot of help with the media too, and the YouTubers and. I mean, a lot of people made a name for themselves this generation just talking shit on Xbox.
We can
the fact that anybody that can talk bad about the One X at this point basically shows the kind of narrative and how bad it's gotten.
But Microsoft has the money for the marketing. Use it. I mean, seriously. They're not using it right.
They don't. I don't think that. See, that's the thing. I don't know if that's what you just said. They do have the money, obviously, but I do think that they run it as a business, and they do see themselves. Hey, look, we're in a market where Sony's dominating worldwide. We know that they're going to dominate. Let's save money. Let's not market some of the things. Let's market maybe the game itself on X looking better, and hopefully that will do it. But they have their marketing. From last gen to this gen has been freaking, you know, cutting, I would say 75%. They do not have the same money put in there.
Listen, one thing. Hold on 1 second, thing. And Tim, I've been again. Something you know I've been talking about it since we've been doing this, right? But all I'm saying is right now, you have the chance to hit the refresh button, right? Everything that came out at the beginning, we all know that Microsoft shot itself in both foot before the start of this console generation. But you have this console that, how you say, the console the gamers have been asking for. You understand what I'm saying? They should be out there screaming. I'm not saying that this is going to.
Well, it's still far away.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm just saying the console comes out in November. It's already what? Then in 2 weeks it'll be August. You know what I mean? Then September, October, we're here already. They should be screaming it to the routine. Yes, us the hardcore, we know all about it. But to the casuals, they need to start hammering that shit home.
Casuals don't care about the One X.
They don't care about the graphics. You know what I mean?
They're not going to care enough about that.
I think they will in time. I think as times as graphics are going to help.
Yeah. I just want to speak on what Fon said, that Microsoft perhaps doesn't believe in this game. I don't think that's the case at all. I think they just want to be 100% with their cloud, because if this cloud is, you know, as great as they say it is, a lot of developers are going to want to use this for their games, and that's going to generate a lot of money for them. So they got to do this right. The marketing stuff, I think some of us, the only thing that I'm upset with Microsoft on, to be honest with you, I think that the Xbox One X after E3 should have been able to pre-order it. I don't know what's going on with that, but that should have been, you should have been able to do that. But at least by September, they need to go full out with a Blitz, a campaign Blitz, you know, Xbox One X, all the games. I think they need to start it from September. It is a little bit early. The console's not coming out till November. So let's give them a little bit of time. Let's see what happens at Gamescom. Let's see what they show us. Yeah. And I'm giving them till September to, like, you know, get their shit together.
I disagree, D. I think they should have been showing some stuff now. They should have been showing stuff yesterday. They should have been pushing the X, showing what it can do right from the start. I mean, honestly, I just don't understand. Like, I'm going to get the X day one, but that's because I'm hardcore and I buy all the consoles and stuff. So I want that. But man, they need to push it to the casuals. Like, you need to have this. This is why. And show them, you know, do something. They're not doing that.
I think the problem, though, with casuals is that realistically, how many 4K TVs are out there right now?
It's going to be pretty big. It's growing and growing.
Yes,
but yeah,
this holiday it's going to be huge. But right don't have 4K TVs. A lot of these hipsters don't even have TVs.
Well, I think that
they're super cheap.
Well, I think listen, there's a lot of technical stuff that's going on here that is very hard to convey to the casuals and to everything. So I do think that. To D's point, I agree with him. I think that the full-on, you know, X push is gonna come, and it's gonna be strong. And I think that they have, you know, literally in the day and age, something can happen, whether it's a Digital Foundry face-off or something that can happen to make really big news, and you know, it could make Pro look real bad and X look real good, and something, you know, what unforeseeable, something that's gonna come. Could sway casuals, but I do think that they are holding back a little, and maybe it's a little bit too much to hold back. But I think that they're just waiting to get closer and to convey all this technical stuff and everything that's going on to the casual.
All I'm saying,
not easy in my opinion.
Listen, Tim, I'm with you 195%, right? But how you say time waits for no man, right? What I'm saying about this, they need to be talking about it now. I'll give you an example. They had a little.
What do they say when they need to talk about it now? What are they going to do?
Let me give you an example. I'm about to break it down for you like this, right? You look at last year E3. Microsoft was riding high. Remember, all the fans wouldn't change the M, and they're in their, you know, Twitter shit. And the Xbox One S was doing good. In my opinion, right? It seems like Microsoft again got comfortable and took their foot off the gas. Understand what I'm saying? He took their foot off.
I don't see that. I don't see.
Look, a lot of people.
Let me take you.
When we get down to when the games are out, when the games actually you can show side by side, then there's a real reason to push it, and there's a real reason to say there will be stuff out there.
This is what I gotta say. Like, am I the only one that sees Microsoft doing way more for gamers than any other company? Like, for fuck's sakes, let's cheer up, guys. Look, we've got the most powerful console. It's going to be the best place to fucking play our games. We can play Xbox. We can play Xbox 360. We can play Game Pass with over 100 fucking games for $10 a month. We have EA Access. We have crossplay between another fucking console, something that Sony once again said no to. They showed us 42 fucking games for 2 hours, the longest E3 they've ever had, and people are still fucking complaining. Like, get the fuck over it. Jesus Christ. Come on, look. Sony, look, hold on. Let me just point this out real quick.
Sony, crap.
No, hold on. Just something. Let me point this out. Sony got a fucking having zero games on the fucking Pro. They launched with zero fucking games, right? Zero games. Okay. They launched with zero fucking games. Microsoft is launching with multiple games and big AAA games that are launching and taking advantage of it. They've created the easiest console ever. This is a big picture type thing. They probably have a plan. A part of the puzzle is E3. A part of the puzzle is going to be Gamescom. A part of the puzzle is going to be Tokyo Game Show, okay? So let's not fucking judge them yet, because the Pro did not go up for pre-order until...
I don't think anybody's judging them, though. I think people are just voicing concerns.
Well, yeah, no. There's people judging them at every goddamn turn. They're Microsoft. Come on.
When it comes down to all that stuff, what you said is true crap. Like, they do show, they showed a lot of games. They showed 42 games, even though they weren't all for me. Somebody out there liked them. Okay, there's people that like some of those games. So they showed a lot of games. They're showing. They've got backwards compatibility. They've got all that going for them. Now sell it to the people. Damn it. That's what you got to do. You got to market it. You got to sell, and they're not doing that part of it. Yes,
that was the #1 wished for thing on Amazon. I mean, come on, what more do you got to do to sell it?
Listen,
but sales aren't there.
What they need to
The
do.
sales, because it's not for sale yet. We don't know. I mean, can we at least wait to see how it does? I think it's going to definitely.
I'm talking about
Definitely going to.
Now I'm talking about the games now. They need to sell all this stuff, not just the X, because the X, let's face it, that's for the hardcore. That's for people like us. Most people aren't going to run out and buy an X because they're not. If they don't have a 4K TV, they're not buying.
You don't need a 4K TV for that.
I know.
Good example. Hold on. Good example. You don't need a 4K TV, and you're absolutely right. But that's one of the things that people don't really know.
They went at E3 and had the guy say, "You do not need a 4K TV for this." Right on the first thing, you don't need a 4K TV.
But that's E3 though. The hard.
They're going to say that Gamescom too.
Yeah, but I think it needs to also be a part of the advertisement where that says, "Oh, if you have a 1080p TV, you get all the benefits too." They need to throw that in there as well.
All right.
Well, you know, somebody pointed this out, and we were talking a lot about marketing. And crap, don't get mad, but I'm gonna say something that I do find with the marketing with Xbox comparatively to Sony. Sony's always been very good with these slogans lately. Like, even though everyone made fun of it, "Greatness Await" was a great slogan. With Xbox,
them in the ass because you literally wait for their shit.
All right, but whatever. For the gamers, we can go over. For the gamers, we're talking about casuals, okay? For the gamers, excellent slogan. All right. And Xbox kind of just has these bullet points, and this is a shout out to Funk, and we actually were going back and forth about this, and he made a good point to me, and I said, you know what, you're right. As we were talking about the market, and he said that they don't have that catch slogan that brings in these casuals, and I think that's true. I think that they show just like these.
So they need something that really attracts weak-minded fools that go by a slogan.
They have to have a slogan.
Let's get Greenberg on that ASAP.
But the thing is that when you show a bullet point of, hey, super sampling on 1080p, hey, FreeSync 2, hey, 16xf on thing, casuals look at that and they're like, what the fuck this, I don't know what the fuck this is. And I hate to break it to you, casuals are the ones that you know, we have this 60 frames 30 per second, you know, going back and forth what we want. Casuals don't give a fuck about that shit. Casuals just want. So I do think that also in this case that Xbox definitely needs to come up with some type of slogan that's catchy, and that, yes, it does entice a casual, that makes it simple. You know, when you throw up a fucking bulletin board, and I've done that too with bullet points of, hey, we do all this great, it just doesn't resonate within the casual, in my opinion. And I think they do better there.
I think they are. I mean, anytime Microsoft launches a new product, they always do a big media blitz with marketing and things like that. It doesn't make sense to market it right now. Why? Because it's not up for pre-order. So, I mean, you're going to get people excited for it, and they're going to be like, oh, fuck, I can't pre-order this. So I completely understand why they're not doing that right now.
But once again, I think it's really important that they stress that if you have a 1080p TV, you can take advantage of it. Like something like, Jimmy only has a 1080p TV. Oh, I can't get it. Oh, yes, you can. Whatever. They put that in their campaign.
They should have the Cuphead guys draw a cartoon.
Hey, here's something we can all agree on. As good as people claim that Sony's marketing has been, their marketing for the Pro has been utter dog shit. I think I took a shit in there earlier today that's better than that. So it won't be hard for them to top that. So what you have to do is you have to go out there, market your shit, and you're good to go. But what's up in the chat, man? If anybody thinks I'm going to fucking concede that Microsoft isn't doing more than enough or doing much more than Sony, then fuck that, man. I'll go toe-to-toe with anybody. I think they're bringing that fucking shit. They're bringing the heat better than anybody else right now. They're bringing the heat. They're more consumer-friendly right now than any company in the history of gaming.
Listen, I agree with you 120. I'm not disagreeing with you, okay? But what I'm saying is that, you know, they are doing better than what Sony is doing. Okay, and I'll give you an example.
Yeah, just has to wait till people catch on to that shit. That's the problem.
Fine. But again,
you can get over the fucking 2013 deal because that shit 4 years ago, folks.
I'll give you an example. You were saying about take Sony out of the goddamn fuck Sony. Okay, I want what's best for my company. I think they can do more. Is what I'm saying. Okay, just don't do a little bit better than what Sony's doing. And the problem, one of the issues that the PS4 Pro had at launch, the games would look better graphically than what was already there. Just at a higher resolution, and then Sony said the keyword that we bringing HDR to all goddamn PS4. So you don't basically. So people say, "Damn, I'm getting HDR on my regular PS4. I don't have to get a Pro." You know what I mean?
Yeah, they killed the Pro like that. Stupid move.
So listen, so you that right there. So
it's not even real HDR on the PS4. Regular
I know
PS4.
that you know that.
Did
Fine.
Foundry ever go over their fake HDR?
No.
Come on.
Well,
you know what,
over
over at AVS though, we actually kind of did dissect it, and it actually is doing HDR, but because it's a little bit bandwidth starved, you get some banding and some of the colors are a little bit off. So it is kind of HDR, but they're just like squeezing it through.
But did you guys notice the HDR thing's not really taking off with the Pro? Like, look at the games that are coming out when the Pro's been out for the past, 8 months, and HDR hasn't really picked up. But then we look at Microsoft's E3 conference, and what do we see? Damn near every fucking game they showed off was HDR.
And
so,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, so those, like, Microsoft is swinging a big D right now. I mean, people are thinking they're not, but they are. Like, the games they're showing off, HDR, 4K frame buffer at least. They're the ones that are doing this shit. Like Sony, they're like, here's this Pro. We're not going to, we made it difficult. Like every game's not going to take advantage of it. Look, this is what Microsoft is going to stress because they've already been saying this. Regardless of whether or not it has a patch, is going to play better on the One X. Your 360 games, your original Xbox games, all these games are going to play and look better on the One X. That is fucking awesome. Like that's going to sell the casuals. That is amazing.
There's also a difference between the Pro and the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S. The HDR that's on Xbox One X, all the games are using the wide color gamut. On the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One S, they're not using the wide color gamut. So you're going to have an increased amount of colors. And the only game that I know thus far on the PS4 Pro that will be using that is Gran Turismo. So that's another advantage for Xbox One X.
Okay, so I'm going to say this last thing, and you guys can have the floor. Just going back to your original comment. They are doing Game Pass, EA Access, and all that stuff, what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Problem with that right there, right, is that we know about it, us here, everyone here, but the average gamer does not know shit about it.
I don't know, man. I've had people tell me a lot about it, man. They're excited about this.
I've never seen a commercial for EA Access.
I'm seeing EA Access all the time, man. Like they're not doing it on like the broad stream, but on the other places like Hulu and
it appealed to
on YouTube.
Just because I've always said this before, that us hardcore, we don't bring these companies any money. It is the casual that far raises by like 10 to 1. You know what I mean? Yeah. They've done a shit job at advertising their strong points and their bulletins to the everyday Joe. You know what I mean? Like you got something about the Microsoft is doing this with the TVs and the motherfuckers don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah. Most people don't even know what the fuck the cloud is. You know what I mean? They just a fun game. It looks great, and I can do this. And that's all that they care about. I can connect online. Yeah, they don't care what's going on in the background. How many fucking cloud compute servers are running in server farms? They don't give a fuck about any of that. You know what I mean?
I gotta agree with you there, Next Gen, on the EA Access. EA Access is amazing, and I think if gamers really knew what it was, because a lot of gamers don't know what it is. Like we do because we're in the loop. A lot of gamers really don't. Like my buddy, I told him the other day about EA Access. He was like, "Holy shit!" And he picked up an Xbox One. And he got EA Access, and he's like happy. Like you get so many games, you get to try the games. They got really good AAA games in the vault, like not games that are like 2-3 years old, like 4 or 5 month old.
Well,
games.
Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 are both going in EA Access vault this month. So
God damn
that's huge. But that is
I just bought Battlefield 1.
Well, still, I mean, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with owning it. But
no.
The thing is, that's not a Microsoft owned thing. That's a EA thing.
So Microsoft has marketing rights for Madden, right?
Do they?
They do.
Okay.
Like, so it seems like they gave up both. It's like you got to check. You're looking around like, what are that marketing rights for again?
This football is pretty big amongst everybody, casuals, as far as gamers go, right? What they should do with EA, and because EA fucking has the NFL license for Madden, is start running ads during the NFL games every Sunday and Monday and occasionally on Thursdays and once in a while on Saturdays.
Well, during the NFL,
come play EA Access. You get a month for free. You can play all these games. You can play a 10-hour trial of the new Madden. That's what they need to do to start.
To their credit, they do advertise Xbox One all throughout the NFL games. Like it's the official sponsor.
Yeah.
So they do that. But you're right with the EA Access stuff. Since they have the Madden deal anyway, that would make a lot of sense.
Smart. It would help EA even to make a couple of bucks too. Well, mostly EA.
Oh, I agree. I think that I think, to be fair, I do think that they are going to start marketing the hell out of this thing when you're going to actually be able to pre-order it. And I think that we're about to see what that money can do.
I hope
You know, I have
So
I
I
think
have full
pre-orders
faith
are
in
going
it.
to be announced at Gamescom. That's the one
Yeah, I
thing.
mean that's what and not only are pre-orders going to be announced, but I've also heard that they're working on deals with different places where you're going to be able to trade in and get really a good trade in. So you can imagine picking up an X, trading in your S, and walking out the door with and only having to pay $300 out of pocket. That's going to be huge.
Right.
And
So-
I'm pretty sure they're going to do a deal also with Samsung. I'm pretty sure they're going to bundle it with Samsung TVs once again.
Yeah, we've already started seeing like there's already some TVs that are doing that with the S and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more. I'm excited to see what they have to offer, man. I'm pumped.
Honestly,
You know, like-
I feel that they're in a good position. Even though we have this doom and gloom talk of what people.
I'm not doom and gloom.
I know,
guys.
but
I'm
think
high as
listen.
I'm fucking high on my Xbox more than I ever have.
You're going crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
But-
I fucking love it, man.
Fuck.
but
Dude, I tell you what, if it wasn't for a little bit of VR shit on PlayStation, man, that thing would just be a dust collector for me. You know what I mean?
Same,
Like,
same with me. Same
yeah,
with me.
I'm
All right,
just being
but-
honest, man.
I just feel that they're in a good position, and it is fair though to go over this stuff, and you know, for Microsoft to get better, it's not always going to be like, hey, you're doing great. Sometimes you have to, you know, you gotta be a little tough on them, and I do feel like, you know, maybe we're sometimes too
You
tough.
guys
on
see my
them.
screen? You guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
You see what I'm doing here? Look at my screen.
Yeah.
You see this? This is most wished for. You have new hardware coming out. Fuck, wait until you can pre-order. You be out there right now in the streets screaming from the goddamn rooftop. The PS4 Pro.
Again, you're a long ways away, but to my point, I'm just.
Listen. The PS4 Pro is a more wished for item than the goddamn.
Bro, right now, because everybody already wished for the fucking thing. Like it was #1 for like 3 straight weeks, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta wait until.
Yeah, we need to get concrete information
Info.
when it's coming out, because there's some rumors
Yeah.
that it's not coming out and all this shit. You know, gamers aren't the most informed sometimes. So
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, it's a lot of fear mongering by the media and these forums to make Xbox fans get all tizzied up thinking that the X is not coming out.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fucking like if you were going by for me, that's why I don't go by Amazon. It's one outlet. It's like, you know, like
No, we just use this for
it is. But look, like the Switch is the most wished for thing, but you can buy one now, but it's still fucking lost the MPD. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of
Well, you
fucking.
could say it was shortages, but that you know, listen, that just shows, you know, that you know, they're still very popular. But even with that being said, I think Microsoft has positioned themselves with even the Xbox One S and Xbox One X to kind of when the 4K market really starts to ramp up, I think that they're going to be they're going to be looked at a little bit more than they are now, because they do support, you know, the S's do support upscaling and HDR and stuff like that, and you do have the UHD. So I don't think that it's dire straits. I just think it's a lot of it is communication, and a lot of it is really we do talk about the media, and I agree. I don't think that there's many fans in the media of Microsoft, and for whatever reason, but they just need that they need something to really point to their consoles, and what that's going to be, I don't know if that ever happens, but I do feel like maybe something will happen where people start to really appreciate what they're doing here, especially with the X and you know, what they're doing with 4K. I think that it will come in time. It's just that it's going to be slow getting to that point.
Well, the 360 ushered in the HD era
Yes.
of gaming.
Yes.
And so now the Xbox One X is bringing in that 4K era.
Mhm.
I agree. What Microsoft is doing right now to try to convince people it is worth the upgrade, what they're doing, it's not enough for the casuals. It's not even enough for the hardcore yet. I'm going out and buying one day one. I bought my fucking TV for Xbox One X, right?
Yes.
I just think when it's all said and done, at the end of this year, I think we're all going to be able to say Microsoft did a good job convincing everybody. I have faith in them.
Yeah, that remains to be seen.
It does. It does. It wholeheartedly does. But I have faith in them that when it comes to launch and at the end of the year, there's going to be a lot of Xbox One X's in people's homes and a lot of 4K TVs being bought.
I'm curious to how the spin's going to be, and I'm not even an MPD dude. I make fun of it. Like I use it when Xbox Xbox wins just because so many people get ass hurt over it. But I'm looking at the pie in the face, the egg on the face on X releases, and it takes the #1 spot. And not only that will it take the #1 spot, but you're talking about possibility of selling millions because they're launching this thing worldwide at the same time, which is something even the original Xbox One didn't do, and people are saying they're not trying with it. But I think that proves just the opposite. Like, it's launching in way more countries than the Xbox One did. I think this thing's going to do extremely well. You're going to have deals on the S. You're going to have deals with the X. You're probably going to get some kind of get a free game with it. We have not yet begun to see them fight, and I bet Phil and company's probably just like enjoying the people poking at them right now. And then there'll be some new excuse, right? There'll be new excuses. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude. What's up in the like? I love it, man. People are like, no, man. BGST is good people, man. It's just differences of opinions. Like, man, look, if you guys want that, if you, you know what I mean. Like when Microsoft fucks up, I'll say it, man. But for me, they're not doing anything wrong right now. I mean, I don't
think they're doing anything wrong. I just think they're got cruise control set at 55 instead of 70.
You gotta wait till that thing's ready to pre-order. It does absolutely no sense in doing anything.
I know that. I agree with you. I agree with you there. Yeah. They need to put the foot on the pedal.
Let me ask you guys a question, right? Before we were able to pre-order the Switch or whatever, right? Which but Nintendo, whatever the case, you had people out there talking about it. They were doing what they were doing, right? But you think now, just comparing the two, even though you can't pre-order the Xbox One X yet, but I can honestly say that I think the Switch had more hype for it before launch than the Xbox One X. And to me,
I see everybody and their goddamn mother saying, when can I pre-order this? I want to pre-order it. I think this is actually hyping it even more. Like, everybody's like in a fevered fucking pitch. They want to pre-order this thing.
Okay, look, that's what I'm saying. You can't get it, but what I'm saying right now, they should take to the media more often and pound home the facts. Again, a lot of people think they need a 4K TV. No, you're going to get better graphics. No, listen, don't come out there talking about super sampling because motherfuckers don't know what the fuck that is. Come out there, tell them the goddamn game is going to look better graphically and what you've been having playing for the last 3 or 4 years.
And they're going to show comparisons and stuff like that at Gamescom. They said that they're doing that. So
it's something that it's a simple thing. They have to show it in a simple way. That's the problem. It's a kind of it's very technical, and they have to kind of dumb it down, and they have to show it. I agree that they have to make that point that 1080p TVs will be supported, and I don't know how you do it in a simple way though without explaining what's going on. Maybe have some stupid commercial, but it's I do think that we are just maybe going a little bit too crazy. I do think you got to give them a little bit of a shot and see what they do. If they don't listen, if they don't have a good showing in November, if they don't win MPD or they don't come in second to Switch, I think then you really have you really can say that they.
It's not going to come in second to the Switch because they're going to have these things mass produced. Nintendo comes out with 3 consoles and they're like, shit, we're all out. It's so popular. We can't believe it. Oh my God. Meanwhile, they have 2 games out that you can play. That's it. And nobody's giving them shit about it. Yet people still continually give Microsoft shit nonstop.
I do.
You know what I mean? And
it'll also help too when the console is in people's homes and they can.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, the content creators are the ones that are going to fucking do this. Look, Rad Brad was the one that fucking ran the new Crackdown 3 stuff. Though once you get that footage and these people have the One X and they're seeing this shit,
they have to go over a friend's house and see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's not as easy as like marketing. There's a whole separate subsect of marketing now. Like it's not people for the most part aren't watching TV live. I can 100% fucking guarantee you this. You know what people are doing? They're consuming their media in other ways via YouTube, via streaming services. Like I said, Hulu, and I'm seeing lots of Xbox commercials on those places. So to me, viral marketing, guerrilla marketing, which is what a little bit of what I do, a little bit of what somewhat other YouTubers do. Look at Boogie. You think that motherfucker's going to get a 1X. Look at Angry Joe. That motherfucker's going to get a 1X. All these people are getting 1Xs, and that is marketing. You can't buy that type of marketing. These people have millions of subscribers, and this is what's going to sell the fucking Xbox One X. This is what's going to sell their games. The fact that the best place to play is the Xbox One X. The fact that they have Xbox Live where you can change your fucking name, which they should advertise that too, because Sony still can't do that, and it's 2017 and the clock's ticking in 2018, motherfuckers. So what I'm saying is the Xbox One X, the best place to play the games, best controller, best online network. Dude, I hopped on PS4, tried to get in that party chat. That fucking shit still don't work and sounds like garbage, man. I'm like, you want fries with that? No, I don't want fries with that, motherfucker. Let me get back on Xbox Live where this shit works.
I don't have.
You know? So that's what I'm talking about. Well, go look to Mooch's channel. We did a live stream on there, Fonz, and listen to me and tell me that sounds like Xbox's party chat.
I don't know what's going on there. I don't have issues on there either. On both sides, I have a pretty good.
I don't have a problem on Xbox Live. They use servers for their party chat.
I have to say both Xbox Live and PSN they haven't had the outages that they've had in previous years. This year's been pretty good.
But the chat is better on Xbox though. It has a much.
It's a ton better. You get more people in there too.
Yeah.
It's a higher quality bit rate.
Yeah, changing the name is a big thing when it's 2017 and the fucking Nintendo allows it.
But here's the thing. We're talking about Microsoft and we're talking about marketing. They need it. We're not talking about Sony. I mean,
why can't we talk about both?
It's because, I mean, we're talking about what.
But I was talking about Microsoft. I said that once the content creators get these consoles, it's game over.
I agree with you there because, first of all, it's going to be 4K content. It's going to be with HDR and gamer like let's be honest, on YouTube right now, although you can upload HDR videos, there still isn't a hell of a lot of HDR videos on it. And once the Xbox One X is released, there's going to be a lot of 4K HDR videos.
100%. 100%. That's good. I mean, look. The reason why the PS4 got such a big push, even on games that Microsoft had marketing rights for in the generation, was because they had the better resolution or the better performing version. That's all changing. That has completely changed. The PS4, and I've said this before, TikTok, it's not relevant. It's the least relevant console because the Switch does things that neither of the consoles are doing, so that's going to stay relevant. Power. And then it comes out with a game or two at the beginning of the year, and then it shits the bed the rest of the fucking year. Microsoft is in a unique position right now.
Yeah,
because they're offering more than any other company.
But they're also under the thumb of developers. You don't know what all these developers are going to do. You don't know if they're going to produce these games for the pro and then just say, let's slide this over.
It might pull a Bungie on it.
Better because every game is going to be better just from the simple hardware. You don't need a patch.
I know. I'm just telling you, you got to be careful with that because these third parties, I'm telling you right now, like there's games on the pro that I don't think take advantage of the pro. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but that pro isn't as easy. The pro's not so straightforward to
develop for.
Yeah. Literally, it takes 2 hours to get a game up and running in 4.1x. It's the easiest console to develop for, and we know for a fact Bethesda is on board. They're a huge developer. EA, possibly the biggest developer and publisher, completely on board.
We'll see this holiday how far they drive, and I think even as you further go down, you'll see the differences. I do think that there'll be some cases where there's not much difference, but I do think there'll be some cases where there's like, holy shit.
I just hope you don't run anything more like
this is what Tim. This is what you can see if they do a dynamic resolution on the Pro and the One X. Guess what? The dynamic is going to be much higher on the X.
Yes, of course.
That's just the facts. Even if they fucking cut them off at exactly the same, the X is still going to perform better because it's more powerful. You're going to have a better frame rate. Exactly.
I can say this though, from Microsoft.
Next gen, get on board with it, man. Like, show some fucking enthusiasm. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're not the next gen.
Listen,
I fucking knew for years, bro. Get a bump or something.
Listen, I'm heavy.
Right, and I'm carrying the You were fucking me 2 years ago, man.
I was the first person of color to lose my life in the goddamn console war. I
know, but fucking cheer up, dude.
Ain't no more damage control. This is me being a fan. Fuck resolution. You know what I mean? I don't care about what's scaling higher. I want better graphics.
You're getting better graphics.
Getting better graphics. No, hand in hand with it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like the X.
Oh, no, I'm gonna get it. Listen, Tim, listen. I'm not trying to be.
I know what you're saying. You want the better graphics.
I just hope we don't get more shit like we get from fucking Bungie with fucking Destiny. You understand
Here's
what
the thing.
I don't think that's
The
sustainable, to be honest.
Is going to get a bump. Destiny's going to get a bump talking about it now. There's a couple that aren't going to talk about it now, but we are going to get, especially ones that have marketing deals with Sony, but they're still going to happen.
That's
You
all.
know, it's still,
Of course, it's going to happen. But at the same time, I'm just saying, like, some of these third-party developers can't just hang on what they're going to do for this console. What we have to do is make sure that Microsoft does for this console. And they need to push this console not only with games, exclusive games, but they also need to push the media. They need to push it out, put it out there, so people want to buy it. So people want to, they have something to go to that actually looks a lot better for sure. Because, like I said, third party, who knows what some of these guys are going to do? I mean,
well, here's the thing.
On third party, I just want to say this. On third party, I can pretty much say EA and Ubisoft, they will take advantage of it because they have a great relationship with Microsoft. The other third-party companies, I really can't speak on, but at least those two.
Bethesda is as well.
Yeah, I think, listen, if you're a game creator, you're going to want to put your best work on the best possible. It doesn't, on PC, they don't try to dumb it down. You're going to want your game to look the best. Now, the thing with the X, what they did, which a lot of people don't talk about, but they did a very good way, and D spoke about it. They developed this console with developers in mind. Basically, you take a game that's let's just say Call of Duty. This Call of Duty. That game's running on X. To get that game running in 4K on X literally takes about a day. And that's basically they streamlined the development.
They make DX12 right into the fucking box.
Right,
it's down to 12 fucking.
They made it easy to develop for. There's no question about that.
It's the easiest console ever. They gave it 9 gigs of RAM, more than the Pro has. You know what I mean? Like, it has as much RAM for games than the Pro has altogether.
I do see in maybe some cases that there might be a marketing deal that might say, hey, let's kind of keep parity.
And that's where guys like us should come in, like I've been doing, and saying, hey, avoid this fucking game.
But I don't see that happening a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, we need to do that because at the launch of the PS4, gamers were not fucking having it. They were like, no parity. We're not going to have our games at 720p on the Xbox, like the Xbox One. We got to do the fucking same, man.
Yeah. Oh, I fucking agree 100%, man. But I do think, especially like surprisingly, a lot of the smaller devs are actually stepping up and going above and beyond on the X. You know what I mean? Pro be damned. Like the Pro, that was a half-assed upgrade. So I liked when developers are like, hey, we're just going to take full advantage of it. Hey, we're going to do 1080-60 on the One X. Pro can't do that, but fuck them.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see, man. And that's what's going to really win people over. When you see that fucking footage of Assassin's Creed Origins on that YouTube in 4K, that is going to sell consoles because that ain't looking like that on no PS4. Yeah. That's what's going to do it. And I think once you start seeing content creators do this, and you know how you can tell this is going to be huge? Because you look at the comments and you got people like in disbelief. That's got to be some super high-end 4K fucking PC. Oh, the Pro, this will get downgraded. When people start saying that shit, you're in for something. I did not see a single at E3, including like Doc Cupcake, UTim, South, all the people that were at E3, Junkie, all these people were like, it was the best experience ever, the highest end experience I've ever played. It's like a totally different genre than the PS4. So as far as I'm concerned, when people actually get to see this and get to play it, and the content creators are going to sell, and Sony, you'd be foolish to think Microsoft isn't going to advertise the fuck.
I don't think Sony's always going to do well, though. I don't think that they're just going to. Of course, they're always been a big player. They're always going to be there. So is Nintendo.
Yeah, see, Delilah HD, she said she was there too. It was amazing. I have not heard a single person say anything bad about this console, aside from it being the best console they've ever played. So. I mean, take it for what it's worth. We're going to see a lot of commercials. There's more than just TV commercials, though. There's viral marketing. There's all kinds of stuff.
They've targeted that. They've targeted YouTube, and they've changed marketing on their end.
Because you got to realize that just showing stuff on TV that's not what people consume.
Can we all agree that the best advertising Microsoft has done for the One X was last year's Project Scorpio sizzle reel at the end of E3?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was great.
I watched that and I still get hyped.
4K
they need to do something like that. That video with the developers talking and them saying this console's for you and it's a monster.
Yes.
They need to really push that monster narrative. They gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's
We're
what
going to start wrapping this shit up because people are going to start dipping.
I'm not saying they're not doing good. They can still do better. That's what I'm saying. Like, calm down. I still bleed green. I like using my shit. I'm just saying, don't leave any fucking room. You know what I mean? Fucking knock it out of the park and close all the goddamn doors. I understand they're doing good stuff. They're doing better. But fuck Sony. I can care if Sony has shitty, horrible fucking customer service, and I get it. People don't talk about it in the media. I'm just saying they can do more. Right now, I'm saying they should have a Blitz campaign in the fucking streets. You know what I mean? And fucking nailing this goddamn shit home. You know what I mean? That's all that I'm saying.
Well, we've got time. I mean, once this thing, I have a feeling once Gamescom rolls around and we're able to pre-order, you're going to see a lot more stuff come out about this.
They have their own official channel. They should show them guys back there playing, early versions of whatever goddamn games. The graphics, you know what I mean? The 4K, the HDR. Nail that shit home. That's all.
Well, yeah, look, I agree. They should be advertising and saying, hey, these games are this. But again, they might have that already planned. They could do a big blowout and be like, here's the 4K games. And you know what I mean? I'm sure we're going to see something like that.
They wouldn't do that now. They obviously,
yeah, it doesn't make sense because you can't pre-order it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you can pre-order it, yeah, and I think they're going to have some amazing deals for trade-ins and stuff. Like trade in your PS4 and get 250 towards it. I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have aggressive trade-in values, especially for like us that bought like a 2 terabyte Xbox One S. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a good trade-in.
Keep in mind, I'm not getting.
Hell, I just ordered a fucking that 8 terabyte fucking hard drive.
I fucking need another extra.
I mean, so now I got an 8 and a 5. So
you're ready.
Well, dude, I've got I'm working on 500 games on the Xbox One X, bro, or
Xbox digital or whatever. Or that's dope.
Most of mine are digital. I have 140 physical, and the rest are digital. I went digital a little while ago.
Oh yeah, you was big physical.
I remember back in the day, crap, when you said you would never go digital.
Yeah, you know what though? It just came down to it. I was trying to do my bro a solid because we game share, and you know what I mean. He's in school and work,
and the convenience is so wonderful.
Really, yeah, I mean that too. Like I don't got to fucking get up and get my game. I also do the Game Pass thing, so that's pretty cool, and I do EA Access. So
I love digital so much, right?
Yeah.
I have a GameStop that's literally less than a mile from my house. I could get digital if I wanted to, or physical if I wanted to. It's so much easier being digital.
Yeah, I just go physical basically for the sports games because after the season I usually play them again, so I could trade them in for something. But for the games like Halo or like the games I know I'm gonna always play, I just go digital now. But I was just like you, crap. I was against digital. I wanted to go mostly physical because I like to trade them in. I just like to have the copy of it, but just a little bit more convenient.
To be fair, I do buy like the exclusives both. Like I'll pick it up like Gears. Like I have Gears 4 digital, but I picked that up when it was on sale for $15 physically at GameFly just to have it. So it's like I'll buy both. Like I like to collect the exclusives, and I'll still buy like the collector's editions. Like I bought the Doom collector's edition. That thing was awesome. Came with that statue. I have the actually I have the fucking statue for that Battlefield 1 is badass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I love that thing, man. So I'll still buy shit.
It's a nice color, fellow.
Yeah, dude. And that didn't even come with the game.
No,
yeah, like fucking like, like I fucking love that collecting. Yeah, it didn't. I got it for $25 or something.
$30.
Oh, that's right. They had a special. I remember. That's right.
Yeah, but that was originally 150 or something. So I was like, "Fuck yeah, man! I'll pay 25 for that."
Well, listen, almost 9 o'clock. Game of Goddamn Thrones.
Yeah.
Go
watch your dragons.
Yeah, fuck you, crap. And fucking Doritos. Type the goddamn one right now in the comment section, man.
Yeah. Hey, type 2 because you want next gen of 2000.
No, type 2 for crap got type 2 goddamn diabetes. You about to lose his fucking.
You want 2014 Zaire back when he was all like up and fucking.
You know what happened?
Xbox, man.
Listen, I lost my life in the console, man. Shit, I didn't get flowers on my grave. But listen, we catch you guys next Sunday and all week. Listen, we're gonna be live streaming after fucking Game of Thrones. Come play with us and make it happen. We got to thank you. Bang.